Oh, hello. You look like a very nice person. So why does the government not care about you? They don't. Well, it might not be for the reason that you think. Hi everyone, Colin R. Turner here again. Why does the government not care about you? I mean, we hear this all the time, that governments are elite sociopaths, sell their soul to the highest bidder, and the population can more or less go to hell. I mean, how many times have we heard or felt this point of view from people? Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen that some politicians are sociopaths and are people who just literally don't care about the people who elect them. That does happen, but by and large, I would say that is very much in the minority, and most politicians elected genuinely want to help people. That may be really hard for some people to listen to, but when you think about it, I mean, there are much easier other ways to make lots of money if you just want to trample all over people. But I think politicians are made of different stuff and they want to make things better for the people that elect them. I really do believe that. So why does it look like they don't care? But I think there are two things that we don't consider when we talk about politicians and the job that they do. And the first one is perspective. When we view our political representative from a distance, we see one person. But when you turn it around and when that political representative looks back at you, they're not seeing you, they're seeing millions of people, or hundreds of thousands of people, depending on the size of your local constituency. So the perspective from your point of view and from their point of view are entirely different. From your point of view, it looks like you could almost have a one-to-one relationship with this person. But from their point of view, they just see millions of people and it's impossible to care. It's literally impossible to care for all that number of people. No one can do that. The second thing is there are many other pressures and things going on with politicians that are hidden from you that you don't know about. So for example, imagine if you live in a town with say 100,000 people and you want to build a second school. So like you petition government to provide money to build this second school and they're not answering. It looks like they don't care about that project. But you have to remember that from their point of view, it's not just your town, it's not just that particular problem. There may be a town up the road that also needs a school, maybe it needs it more badly than you do, or another town up another road needs to build a hospital, and then you have this budgetary constraints, which means that you can only do a certain amount of things at a time, and you have to prioritize things according to what you can do. And then even apart from that, there could be manpower constraints. Maybe there just aren't enough people in that politician's office to deal with all the queries and to dive into them, to consult with the professionals to see what is the best course of action. Everything takes time and everything takes slowly. So bear it in mind next time you're down the pub, if we're ever in the pub again, talking about how much you hate certain politicians. Because a lot of what you're seeing of their behavior is not the full picture. They physically can't care about you as much as you could possibly care about them. And they have many, many other constraints and other things to satisfy as well as your problems as well. So there's a huge contention of things that they have to do. And that, I think, is why government doesn't. And none of this is to say that I agree necessarily with what politicians do. I believe that politicians are doing their best, but I believe that they're working with limited tools and poor incentives most of the time, which is why generally the results are not always good or conducive to good society. But I just wanted to point out that the way we view politicians traditionally as kind of scumbags who basically are trying to kill everybody, it's just not true. It really, really isn't true. It doesn't stand up to any scrutiny at all. I still prefer to see things in a truer sense, how they really are, rather than how we project onto them how they are. So they're doing the best they can with the limited tools they got, but that's about all. Okay guys, thanks for listening in again. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Support me on Patreon if you like. I'm Colin R. Turner. See you guys next week. Ciao.